heart of one man. And so during August years in office, workers will be ghosts and wonder why nothing is working, as if ghosts work in the land of the living. Corruption is still a movie until it happens to you. Until your brother can't get admission because his very damn slot is being bargained for right before your eyes. Until your mother dies in the general hospital because the fund that was supposed to cater for good health is being used for another man in his vacation abroad. Until you have an argument with the wrong neighbor who gives some men in black the right papers to lock you up for as long as his money wants. Corruption didn't get big in a day. The virus infected one person and spread. Now you are the antidote. You can make a difference against corruption, because if you shiver and shrink, the lion will eat you up. But if you roar back, the lion will recognize another lion and crouch. If you don't make a difference against corruption, you wake up one morning and realize that the sun no longer shines in Nigeria, because some people have bribed it to come and live in their pockets. Hi, I'm corruption. Make a difference against corruption today.
Oh, Yinka, that's a good one there. But I pray that you won't be corruption. That's a good one there. You have really taken time to look at corruption. And I don't know whether I should still ask you, how did you get to know most of the things that you mentioned in that poem? There are so many things you have talked about there, issues that you can raise from there. So how did you know about them?
I think that most times in our society, we tend to maybe look at the leaders, oh, the leaders are corrupt. But before everyone became a leader, they were members of the society. So if you're not corrupt as a member of society, you cannot be corrupt as a leader. So a good instance is the one I said, somebody sells fake products for 5 times the price and tell you, oh, this is original product. I have experiences that sometimes you go and it's fake, but because you cannot identify the original, the person sells you fake for that price. So if that kind of a person is in a place of authority, of leadership, the person is going to be corrupt and all of that. The person who steals or who cheats in exam hall can also cheat to get elected, can also keep cheating to lead people and all of that. So some of them have experienced firsthand, especially maybe buying bad products. Some of them have experienced maybe while going for a service. You need a service, for instance. Okay, you want to get maybe your national ID card or something, and someone tells you, oh, to give you an express one, you have to pay 1,000, but to wait till maybe 5 days, or wait till 5 days or something like that. Meanwhile, it can actually be produced maybe within 1 day or 2 days, but you have to actually pay for that. So all of those things, all of those vices, all of those little things, they are the ones that led to this full-blown corruption and some of these challenges that we face. And I know that in the beginning of the part of the poem, I talked about how bad roads can lead to death. Because when someone is corrupt and, oh, you're supposed to fix this particular bad road, you may not really know the consequences of the money you put in your pocket is. But because of it, I've traveled to maybe say areas. Maybe one time I was going to Abuja, I think on Kogi Road, and it was so bad that it was as if the car was going to fall over. So you may not know that, oh, the 50 million you're taking can actually cause a full bus filled with people to, tumble over. So seeing all of these things, I think, and experiencing and observing, they were the ones that really informed this poem, because we have to keep talking about these issues.
Okay, I want to believe that Nigeria wasn't here initially. Corruption wasn't this bad in Nigeria, and I want to believe that you also have some notion. You have things that you have observed that could have been the cause or causes or reasons behind what is happening. Can you share with us some of the things you feel? Maybe we started it as a small, maybe it didn't look like it can be anything.
Yeah, in the poem I said corruption, it just infected one person and spread. I feel that most times the value system is important. When the value system starts eroding little by little, of course Nigeria was not like this before, but when people are using survival instincts instead of thinking for the future. For instance, a person who wants to steal maybe money, or the young person who wants to do Yahoo is just thinking of survival. I just want to survive. I just want to be able to feed my mother, but the person is not thinking long term to say, oh, what if I'm caught in 5 years time? What am I going to tell my children in 2 years time? How am I going to live? So when people are more focused on survival rather than values, they're more focused on, they're just looking at today, they're not looking at the future, it begins to erode some of their value system, some of their choices. It affects their choices. So another thing I also believe is the act of taking responsibility. Sometimes or not even sometimes, every time, the responsibility for the kind of nation we live in lies in our hands. So when young persons or when the public do not take ownership and say, oh, if Nigeria is good, it's in my hands. If Akwa Ibom is good, it's in my hands. And leaving it to maybe some person or some government or some other person, maybe you're as little as, oh, don't block the gutter, you block the gutter, or you just do things that they just serve you for the moment, and you're not thinking of the future of the nation, of the aftermath of the nation. It begins to erode. Your conscience begins to erode. Your value system begins to erode with time. All of those little negligences around, all of those, it now compounds to what we now see, showcase in our country, and it now looks so bad. But before, it wasn't so bad, but it was little by little that all of these challenges
when we look at this issue that we are discussing this morning, we see that we are absolve ourselves of the blame. Many times. Yes, we are dwelling with ourselves first, but we will go to the government. Now, I am not corrupt. Many times I feel I am not. But in the marketplace, we have people, maybe even in the pharmacy. I don't know, somebody made a statement recently that she doesn't know whether malaria drugs are still malaria drugs. That she feels that they are fake. Because you will take it now and it will not be 2 days effective, or so. And you will still be down with malaria again. Before now, it wasn't so. And so, if I say I am not corrupt, but I have an impatient attitude, how do we bring it to bear, or to absolve ourselves of this?
Okay. I think that people do not, it's because people rate corruption. They wait till maybe they do something really big and bad before they rate it as corruption. So for instance, the person who's selling fake drugs at the pharmacy is just saying, oh, it's just something small, it's not that bad, it's just, the person is not rating it on that large scale. That's why they're absolving themselves of that blame.
He's not thinking of the consequences.
Yes, he's not thinking of the larger scale of what this thing can cause in 5 years time. So they're absolving themselves. And then the person who's supposed to put them in check is likely to also be corrupt, can be bought with money. So the policeman who is now supposed to now arrest the person who's doing wrong can also be, bought with money. So it's in a chain. So it's a chain, yes. And then the government official who maybe wants to be different, and now maybe is elected new in the office and now wants to say, oh, you people should not do this. At least let's build Akwa Ibom, or let's build Nigeria. That has somebody that will blackmail and say, oh, I know how many votes you got, but see the way we turned the votes around for you. So it's like, it's so a word.
Because you came in a wing of corruption, so they have to put you under.
Yes, there's almost nothing. So we now see that little corruption, that little, maybe you're not a bad person. In fact, you came with the mind of, oh, let's rebuild Nigeria, let's rebuild Akwa Ibom State. But because you now gave into, that's why it's little, but once it's there, it can expand. Someone can use it against you, even if you don't want to do, or you want to shout, but there was money for this road now. Oh, this commissioner, I gave you money for this road. Why is this road not built? You cannot make too much noise, because the commissioner also knows that there are some things that you are supposed to put in place that you have not done. So it just, I think it's just a circle, but someone has to break the circle, and it's
We will
just
come to who will break it. But let's look at the government. It's becoming, I don't know, I think things are becoming more difficult by the day. If you get to the market, you will see how the prices of things are, and a common man, it's difficult for a common man to
Sure.
survive in Nigeria.
Sure.
And house rent,
Sure.
electricity bill,
Bills.
and all those stuff. Now it's survival of the fittest.
Yeah.
You need to survive. Where people are in petty business, how will they be able to survive without corruption in Nigeria?
That's a tough one. That's a tough one because, especially for instance, we have the electioneering year that's coming, and like you said, things are tough. Families that have been feeding, or sometimes, you know that when we even experience a hike in the market, sometimes in our salaries we don't experience that boost.
That is it.
Yeah. So somebody that was feeding, maybe had 5,000 naira or 10,000 naira, all of these little young people that, okay, they sell for them, or the petty traders that were earning, this particular amount, things have skyrocketed. They are not able to feed easily the way. I think I was shocked when I saw it was a cube of sugar. They said 10 naira. So if you're buying 3 cubes, 20 naira, I'm like, cube of sugar is 10 naira. So I think it still boils down to the sense of, number one, knowing that this little corruption is not the solution. Because if you say, I want to be corrupt, or for instance, I want to maneuver and sell maybe fake products to my customers to get more, or something like that, know that corruption is not the solution.
So what's the solution?
The solution is by allowing yourself to go through the pain for a season. So at this time that is tough, I think it's for the petty trader to now explore options. It's tough, but it involves a lot of thinking. What else can I do? So for me, even with my work, I'm still earning the same thing, and things have skyrocketed. What else can I do? What other solutions can I provide? What other how else can I sell these products? I feel for instance, someone in the market, it's just for the person to it's not easy, but it's to sit down and say, what are my options? What else can I do? Can I add more products? Can I increase price? Can I, because even in that market, there are people that just buy from one person because they know, I'm going to get authentic product from this person. They say, I want original. Don't go to this person, go to this particular person.
Maintaining integrity.
Yeah, maintaining integrity, because it may be tough at that instance. You see someone reducing the quality of products and selling cheaper, and the person has more customers. But with time, when people now understand, that you're keeping up with integrity, it will pay. It's just that it will not pay immediately. So it's being able to withstand whatever suffering, so to speak, it takes to be able to build whatever you need to build to become sustainable. It's really tough.
I'm sure this your poem is about a change. It's an advocacy.
Yes.
It's something that you intend to see.
Yes.
A reasonable change in the society.
Yes, sure.
What are the platforms you have used to project it? Okay. And do you think that corruption can ever be eradicated in Nigeria?
Okay. Yeah, some of the platforms, I work with Youth Alive Foundation, and some of the platforms we've used, we work very closely with youths and all of that. So sometimes we have sensitization programs. So at the time we had this, we know that youths like music, we know that youths like fun and all of that. So we brought some stars. We brought Agodai, who's a comedian. We brought some singers. We did like a concert, and then we had a lot of youth. We had thousands of youth. So we do sometimes at least once in a year, because it's always on a large scale and all of that. But we also do some skits. We have some very short social, because we know a lot of people go on their phones now. We have some very short skits that we use to talk about these messages, cut the messages into shorts, 30-second skits, all of that, to just talk about corruption and all of that. So those are some of the avenues. And sometimes if they're having youth events, youth programs, or just ordinary programs, most times I just go and talk about it. Sometimes I'm not expecting an immediate change, but I know that when people hear things over and over, subconsciously it impacts them to begin to make the change, because what made them behave the way they did was because of what they heard, what they saw, what they fed their mind with. So if I begin to feed them subconsciously with the right message, with time, maybe not all, but with time, a lot of that is going to change.
Yes,
and to answer your question, okay, we're almost wrapping up.
No, we are almost entering into election, or what, electioneering period,
Yes.
whereby we will bring new set of leaders and all that. And you know that the youths are involved.
Yes, true.
They are, in fact, the major players
Yes,
here.
true.
So how do we roll away corruption? Do you think that youths can effectively put who they want in power without corrupt practices, without necessarily taking money or that? I don't know. Do you feel
Yes.
it's possible?
Yes, it is
possible?
possible. You know that even when you have a lot of, for instance, for the police force, that people say, oh, they are corrupt, there's still a few that have integrity. It's just that we don't know them. So amidst the people, the young people who maybe easily get enticed with monetary gifts and all of that, there are still people who uphold integrity. There are still people who understand that
When you are
You know.
1 in 10,
I think that's what makes it very tough. Honestly, that's one of the things that makes it very tough, because the people who steal ballot boxes and perpetrate all of this on behalf of some of the are also youths. So that, I think that's what makes it tough. But it's progressional. It's not something that will happen overnight. So you see people starting to talk on Twitter. I think that's where social media has helped. We see people trying to come out and do campaigns, sometimes raise placards and all of that. That's a sign that there's a future. That's a sign. They may not get the victory at this time or even next year's election, but that's a sign that these people want a change. That seems want integrity, and it's possible to achieve this integrity, because even in countries or situations when it looks as if, oh, this will never come out of this, when there are people who keep hope alive, by coming out to vote, by sensitizing others, by speaking up and all of that, with time it will take a while, but we will get there.
There's this notion, when it favors you, you will not see it as corruption. You look the other way.
Yeah.
And when it doesn't favor you, like now, there are people, so to say, who are preferred candidates, and people are trying to align and all that.
Yeah.
And some people are condemning and all that and all that. One thing is that if right now I have maybe an opportunity presented to me and a fat sum of money is involved, and that person is stealing that money and I am part of it, I will defend.
Yeah.
But when I am sitting on the other side,
True.
I will see it as corruption.
True.
So when this is the order of the day, what do we do? What's the hope out of this kind of situation? Because I have come to see maybe poverty has brought us to where we are. So if I see that money, I just will also want to drive good cars.
Yeah, true.
I would love to live in a beautiful house.
True.
Nobody wants to live in face me, I face you.
True.
And so at the end of the day, if I have to do everything humanly possible, maybe to ensure that somebody I know is in the government house.
Because it will benefit you.
Yes. So this notion that when it favors me, it is not corruption. How do we drive that away?
Okay, I think it boils down to values. What's your belief? What's your value system? Who are you aside the money? Is it money that defines you? Is it position that defines you? Is it driving a big car, which is good, but is it what defines you? Because if it's how much money you have that defines you, when the next person comes with big money, you would fall for it. And when another person comes, it will fall. So the youth have to now see that what defines them is not money, is not cars, is who they are, is the talents and the giftings they have. and that with those talents you can become great. It doesn't have to be handed out to you. Just that sometimes we want the easy way out. The easy way out is someone comes and dashes me 1 million. The hard way is I have to now work, I have to stress, I have to think, I have to innovate, I have to create things that will make me get 1 million. And because the person gives me 1 million and I'm relaxed, I'm redundant, my brain doesn't think.
And you won't see anything wrong with what he's doing.
And the creativity of young people, a young person who would have wanted to be creative and invent maybe solar, we already have solar, and or invent an AC that is because he's not using his brain, because there's an easy way out of just getting money and feeding. He's not bothered about working or about using his brain, and so we still continue that poverty cycle because we're feeding from hand to mouth. So the person has to understand, what is my value system? How can I make it in life? The best way, the easy way to make it in life is somebody dashing me money, give me a political position. But the harder and more sustainable and more valuable way of making it in life is working it out with your talents, with your giftings, with your abilities and all of that. It will take a long time. It will be harder, but what is your value? Who are you aside money?
I think it would be proper if you reiterate some of the effects, the negative effect of corruption on especially the youths.
Okay, especially the youths. Corruption just buys your future. There is almost no future. With the way Nigeria is, with the resources Nigeria have, the oil resources, the land resources, the water resources, without corruption, this country, it doesn't mean that you will be having money falling from the top, no, but you have enabling environments. Yesterday when I was on traffic, I saw children that construct all of these houses and they bring it for support. I was like, it's evident that these people have these giftings. These are the
they
people
are now using it as avenue to beg.
Yeah, these are the young persons or the children who would have constructed maybe the first 50-story, Dubai boasts of having such those construction. But when there's an enabling environment, they won't go to schools that the only thing in the school is just desk, no laboratories, no places to test. So when there's no corruption, the money sunk into the schools will be evident, such that these young people, they can just take them, oh, you are evidently doing all of this. Yeah, come to the lab. Let's start exploring this talent you have. Let's start. So that's what the Western world do differently. When there's a talent, there's opportunity for you to hone that skill, work on those skills, and come out great. So some of so for you as a person, corruption also, limits how far you can go. And like I said, it suppresses your thinking, because you just want to just take what you can see now.
Okay,
instead of bringing out what you have.
Let's move to the government.
The government,
the effect on the government and the effect on the people, what they can do quickly. Let's just
the effect on the government. I think one of the things I've noticed about the government is that sometimes they think they can take money, officials now, and then go abroad and then have a good life. There is no good life abroad, though. These are people who are racist. These are people who kill blacks, and you think your children are safe there? Wait until you don't have money and they're in all of these other schools. They are racist. Those people, and they see, some of them see blacks as lower, maybe lower than them, and all of that. So is it not better for you to build that place you're looking at, build it in your own country, and let your children and people have pride in their own selves, rather than pushing the money abroad? Because there's no security there. There's more security in your hometown, where you know people's name, than in a foreign country where you'll still be a second-class citizen no matter what. So I think they have to understand that, and understand that they are the ones, they have it in their power to make the change and all of that. So, and it's important to also realize that if you're going to make the change, people will fight you. People like Nelson Mandela, he was fought. So if you're going to make the change, both as a citizen, as person in official, because I know that people in offices that have good hearts, they want to do good things for the people, but because of the cabal and the people they have, they can't. But understand that people will fight you, but understand that sometimes it takes just one man to be the light. It takes just one man to be the light. and then the people, once you can stand out, the people who are in that tribe will find you, and other people start trooping towards you, and now, that's when it now looks like, oh, good has now surpassed evil and all of that. So yes, citizens, you have a role to play. Like I said, it is the citizens that become the leaders. So if we don't have a citizen that cheats in the market, or gives takes somebody's change, takes somebody's bag, we will not have bad leaders. So it is because of the family setting, the kind of citizens we have, that informs the kind of leaders that we have. So both the citizens and leaders, they have a role to play to make Nigeria better, and it is possible. You're the one who built the kind of country that you want.
Keon believes that corruption will go in Nigeria.
Not go completely, but I love Nigeria. Nigerian vibe, pidgin, the way we do our things. I don't want to have to leave this country because it's dilapidated. I know we have hope.
We have hope.
Seriously,
we have hope. Thank you so much for coming around this morning.
My pleasure.
It's been good having you here. I want to believe that you will send if you make a video of it,
okay,
that corruption, it will be good, because since you have audio, we can't play it. Even when you're not here, if you make a video of it, we can be playing it, because people need to hear and also see what we are talking about. So we need to drive home this point. If we believe that our children can come and do better than what we are doing, corruption can be eradicated.
Sure.
Well, it can be minimized if we can't even eradicate it.
True.
So let's work together. Let's believe that we will not drop our waste anyhow.
True.
Let's believe that we will not sell fake drugs, because we don't know who will take it.
True.
Because you yourself, you may be the victim.
True.
Thank you once again for being here with us.
My pleasure.
Yes, it's been nice having you around to at least hear us and watch us this morning. And corruption, we know almost everybody is involved in it. We pray that you will not be amongst us that when it favors you, it is not corruption. We want to believe that every one of us will rise up and do something better and probably different from what we have been doing. My name is Grace Hussein. Heartbeat continues. Let's know that you are still there for us. Bye-bye.